She can't close them around, so hard to handle now, get around.
Courtney Hadwin once made the entire America's Got Talent stage explode in just a few seconds. A teenage girl who came out shyly, then suddenly released wild energy and a powerful voice that brought the whole stadium to its feet. Howie Mandel's golden buzzer made her a global phenomenon.
Only thing I can do for you, young lady, is give you...
But after that explosion came months of more turmoil than anyone could have imagined. The lingering controversies, the harsh reactions from the audience, and the long journey to assert its true value. Now, Courtney was no longer hiding. Each mask was peeled back. Everything that had caused a stir was confirmed by her. As soon as the clip of Courtney Hadwin performing Hard to Handle was widely shared, a series of controversies began to flare up with the speed of Howie Mandel's golden buzzer. On social media platforms, a series of accounts quickly traced back all information about the British girl. And it was those details from the past that became the fuel that ignited Courtney's fledgling career during the period when she should have been enjoying the spotlight. The main focus was on a clip of Courtney appearing on The Voice Kids UK in 2017, a year before AGT. With her confident demeanor, strong voice, and energetic performance, she made it to the top 6 and received many compliments from the coaching staff. Immediately, the online community began sharing comparisons between her performance in the UK and the image of Courtney shyly on the AGT stage. Many claimed they felt emotionally manipulated. Posts on Reddit, Twitter, and TV show forums continued to discuss the image of the girl performing in front of a large crowd for the first time as inaccurate. The controversy was further fueled by allegations of intentional placement on AGT. Courtney was frequently given prime slots, longer introductions, and more airtime than other contestants. Critics began to accuse the show of favoritism. Some believed that Courtney's failure to win that season was largely due to negative audience reactions, not a decline in her performance. Courtney's family was soon forced to speak out. In an interview with the Daily Mail, her grandfather said the family had witnessed Courtney being bullied at school after her appearance on The Voice Kids UK. He stressed that while many people in her home country had dismissed her performance style as weird, in the US, Courtney had been embraced for who she was. The family did not deny any of the reports, but dismissed the public reaction as making her appear fake. Courtney doesn't engage in online debates. She doesn't give interviews in a defensive manner, nor does she write lengthy social media posts. Instead, in an early 2025 conversation with Women in Pop, she briefly shared that the contrast between her reserved appearance and her fierce stage presence is completely real. I'm not afraid to talk, but talking is not my outlet. Music is where I express myself best. This statement has been echoed by many former fans as their own way of explaining what happened. In the same interview, Courtney said she felt paralyzed by the pressure that came with her audition, which became a global phenomenon. Having millions of people analyzing her every move and every glance was an uncomfortable experience. I didn't know how to react. I was only 14 years old, and people were talking about me like I was a media personality, not a kid trying to find my place. During that time, some music critics also began to express doubts about Courtney's singing style. Some articles labeled her as pseudo-Joplin, a performance style that was said to imitate Janis Joplin but lacked depth. She was called a screamer instead of a singer, and was accused of using excessive energy to cover up her vocal technique. Although positive reviews remained, the number of negative comments appearing densely on platforms such as YouTube comments, Reddit, and Twitter created real pressure. This was the period when Courtney gradually withdrew from the spotlight, limiting personal sharing and avoiding unnecessary entertainment events. She didn't directly respond to these comments, but the message of resistance was clear in her music. Her 2024 release, You Only Love Me When I Lie, was widely regarded as a blunt message. The lyrics are about being loved the wrong way, when others only support a false image, not the real you. The accompanying music video is a confrontation with the media, with dark frames, unsettling angles, and steely expressions. It was the first time Courtney used songwriting as a form of nonverbal response. From that point on, Courtney's public appearances changed. She was terse, selective, less interactive. But each time she spoke, she was clear about her views. She refused to play the innocent, suddenly famous icon and insisted that her career was not a viral moment, but an ongoing artistic evolution. Before Courtney Hadwin took the U.S. by storm on America's Got Talent, she had a tough and equally tough journey back home in the U.K. Born in Hartlepool and raised in Hesleden, Courtney lived with her parents and two siblings in a modest house in the northeast of England. Her family had no musical background, but they were supportive of her pursuits from the very beginning. Courtney was described as an introvert as a child. She didn't talk much and didn't like to be part of loud conversations, but music was her outlet. From her time at Hesleden Primary School, she was drawn to the voices of big-name artists, especially those from the soul, funk, and classic rock generations. Once on stage, all her reserved traits disappeared. It was her teachers who first noticed the difference. Talent, nevertheless, needs to be cultivated. Courtney began taking classes at art centers such as Shotton Hall Theatre School, Peanuts Master Classes, Kate Sears School of Music, and Vocal Ovation with coach Julie Miles. The classes weren't free, Courtney knew that, and began performing on the road not to be famous, but to earn money for her music lessons. She busked in busy downtown areas, performed outdoors, by bus stops, in squares, anywhere people passed by. The money she earned went to pay for her tuition, basic equipment, and sometimes her family's travel expenses. The highlight of this series was when Courtney was selected to open for legendary band Sister Sledge at the 2017 South Tyneside Festival. In front of 18,000 people, she performed with the same fierce energy that would later make her famous. Her ability to hold her own in front of such a large crowd at just 12 years old surprised local pundits. It was the first time she had demonstrated her command of the stage on a truly professional scale. Courtney didn't walk onto the AGT stage as an unknown. She had a journey that spanned years, from her days performing on the streets, to local stages, to competitions in the UK, all of which laid the groundwork for her life-changing appearance in 2018. The audition that shook the world. Courtney Hadwin stepped onto the stage of America's Got Talent, Season 13, with hunched shoulders, nervous eyes darting back and forth, and a soft voice that had the judges leaning in to listen. From her appearance to her demeanor, she didn't give off the impression that she was about to do anything special, but that only lasted for the first few seconds. When the music of Hard to Handle started, Courtney transformed. The transformation in her body, expression, and voice was instantaneous. No longer the shy girl, she stood tall on stage, pouring her energy into every foot tap, every hip thrust, every guttural line. Judge Simon Cowell looked up in surprise. Mel B gasped. The audience roared, standing up en masse after just the first few verses. Howie Mandel didn't hesitate. As soon as the song ended, he slammed the golden buzzer. Glitter rained down to thunderous applause. "You're like the reincarnation of Janis Joplin," he declared. Those words not only sparked excitement in the studio, but also triggered millions of shares on social media. Courtney's audition clip went viral, becoming one of the most viewed videos in AGT history. with more than 310 million views as of 2024. Courtney returned to the AGT stage for the quarterfinals with a rousing rendition of Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, continuing her strong form. The judges still agreed that she was one of the most unique performers of the season. In the semifinals, she chose Steppenwolf's Born to be Wild, a song that fit the message she was trying to convey. Each performance demonstrated great control of tempo, stage presence, and, most importantly, absolute loyalty to her classic soul rock style. But, when entering the final night, the expectations placed on Courtney's shoulders were at their peak. She performed Tina Turner's River Deep, Mountain High with a powerful voice, combined with the band The Struts, in a mashup of Could Have Been Me and Piece of My Heart. The performance was heavily invested in image, stage, lighting, and choreography. The audience still stood up to cheer. The judges still gave compliments. Nonetheless, when the results were announced, Courtney was not in the final top 5. The victory belonged to magician Shin Lim. Many people were surprised. Some were disappointed. On social media platforms, a series of comments opposed Courtney's early elimination, claiming that her uniqueness was not properly evaluated because the voting method was based more on sympathy than on professional factors. From that first appearance, Courtney Hadwin made an impression with more than just her voice. She created a style that is hard to replicate: emotional rawness, restless body, closed eyes, screams that turn into music. At 14, she abandoned the sweet pop path, choosing to venture into a wild, rugged, risky sound. Each performance was a challenge to prove that she was more than just a viral sensation. And while the competition didn't call her a winner, Courtney became an icon in her own right. After the spotlight, after the AGT finale, Courtney Hadwin left the stage with eyes full of anticipation and doubt. The golden buzzer buzz was still there, but the pressure was starting to show. She didn't return to the UK as a winner, but the fame she had gained was enough to open a new chapter professionally. In December 2018, Courtney signed a recording contract with Psycho Music, Simon Cowell's record label, in conjunction with Arista Records, a big name in the music industry. The media considered this a valuable contract, which could put Courtney in the ranks of well-oriented young stars. She entered the studio, started recording, working with a team of experienced technicians and producers. But the development did not happen as quickly as expected. In October 2019, she released her debut EP, The Cover Sessions. It included 4 cover songs: Old Town Road, Sign of the Times, Someone You Loved, and Sucker. Courtney's edgy voice was clearly demonstrated, and the arrangement had a classic rock feel. Nevertheless, the response did not exceed expectations. Although experts highly appreciated the way the song was handled, the audience expected something more groundbreaking from someone who had once caused a global stir. The EP only achieved average results on streaming platforms. During that time, her label, Psycho Music, slowly lost its position, and then closed in 2020. Courtney's official album release plans were in limbo, although she never spoke publicly. According to fan feedback on Instagram, Courtney confirmed that she had ended her partnership with the label and moved on to work independently. This is where her relationship with the mainstream music market began to change. The COVID-19 pandemic has made things even more stagnant. Tours have been canceled, music festivals have been put on hold, and new releases have to be released. Courtney has kept in touch with her fans through social media platforms. She posts covers of her songs recorded at home, most notably a remix of Happy Xmas War Is Over, released at the end of 2020. The video is simple but conveys her warm, slow voice and more mature emotional expression. In 2021, she planned to participate in a number of music events, including the FM4 Frequency Festival. Nonetheless, the festival was canceled at the last minute due to the complicated developments of the pandemic. The feeling of waiting and disappointment continued, causing Courtney to face a rather long career lull from late 2019 to early 2023. That was a period when few people saw Courtney appear in the media or perform on a large scale. The turning point came when she officially announced herself as an independent artist, operating independently of a major record label. Initially, she signed with MN2S, an agency specializing in managing new artists. But after a short time, Courtney ended the cooperation due to not meeting the desired schedule and direction. She moved to work with Total Artist Management under the leadership of Oliver Mojeda. This was the time when she began to control the entire production process, from choosing songs, building her image, to planning performances. In statements from 2023 onwards, Courtney has made it clear that her music is not about catering to market tastes. She wants to sing what is true to her emotions, true to her current stage of maturity. The clearest proof is the birth of new songs: Breakable, That Girl Don't Live Here, Monsters, Christmas Rocks. Each song is a shift in content and style. No longer relying on popular songs to demonstrate her technique, Courtney begins to tell her story through her lyrics. By 2024, her return was a different image, quieter, more self-possessed, and ready to face the things that once hurt her. The story of a child star who once rocked AGT has now become a journey of affirming values in a music world that is not easy to tolerate differences, reinvention, and revival. 2023 marked a clear shift in Courtney Hadwin's artistic direction. No longer a name associated with a flash performance on television, she gradually established herself as an independent artist with a distinct color. The change was not in changing her image, but in the way she took full control of every aspect of her music, from songwriting, production, to release strategy. Courtney's comeback began with a succession of original songs. Breakable opened in early 2023, revealing a vulnerable and sensitive side of her psyche. That Girl Don't Live Here, released later, was a clear statement of the distinction between past and present, a way of cutting through the stereotype of the AGT girl. She wrote not to recount her childhood, but to describe her current emotional state as an experienced adult. Of the series, Monsters has had the strongest impact, released just in time for Halloween 2023. The song explores the theme of mental health with a contrasting structure, fast melody, but heavy content. She writes about the fatigue of hiding emotions, about the dark places that are not easy to name. The song quickly reached number 19 on the Billboard Hard Rock Digital Songs chart, a big step for an artist who is completely self-produced and released without a major label. Not stopping at digital music, Courtney returned to the stage with higher quality. On April 29, 2024, she participated in the New York Pops Orchestra's 41st birthday gala at Carnegie Hall. At this event, held to honor Clive Davis, the legendary producer who led Whitney Houston, Courtney performed "Piece of My Heart," a song associated with Janis Joplin. On the stage that has witnessed the big names of world music, Courtney appeared no longer as a TV contestant, but as a real artist, standing on par with guests such as Barry Manilow, Busta Rhymes, and Dionne Warwick. In late October 2024, she continued to record a series of live sessions at Metropolis Studios, a famous venue that has hosted names such as Adele, Amy Winehouse, and Queen. This series of videos helped her prove that her live performance still holds its weight. The recordings were not heavily edited, retaining most of the true nuances of her voice. It was a deliberate choice, in line with the rough but honest spirit that Courtney pursues. In 2025, she began teasing her debut album, Little Miss Jagged. The title is more than a play on words. It's both descriptive and an attitude. Jagged, meaning edgy, not smooth, is what she uses to describe herself, unflattering, undefined, but real. The album was produced by Kevin Bowe, who has worked with Etta James and Joe Cocker. Courtney describes it as a collection of sonic images from her many stages, with genres ranging from blues, soul, funk, to rock and pop punk. The first two songs from the album have been released, Spellbound and You Only Love Me When I Lie. In a March 2025 interview, Courtney said that Spellbound was written after a negative experience in a personal relationship, when she discovered that she was too easily swayed by her emotions. You Only Love Me When I Lie is more direct, expressing her exhaustion at trying to please the public with an image that is not true to who she really is. The song is seen as her clearest response to the controversy that has been going on for years. If you find this story meaningful, we invite you to take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who might be looking for a different kind of inspiration, one rooted in authenticity, resilience, and quiet strength. Stories like this aren't always loud or flashy, but they carry a truth that stays with you. Whether it's a friend facing a tough season, a fellow gearhead, or someone simply in need of a reminder that passion and perseverance still matter. This might be the message they didn't know they needed. We believe storytelling is a two-way street, and your voice matters. If something in this video spoke to you, challenged you, or brought back a memory, we'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below and be part of the conversation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more interesting videos.